Mandela Effect that has to do with the Statue of Liberty? I just checked some Google usage stats that blew my mind. If you take a look at them for yourself and type in, when was the Statue of Liberty placed on Ellis Island? Here's the results. And this is pretty recent. The first peak is around 2013. Then you'll come over to the right in red and type in, when was the Statue of Liberty placed on Liberty Island? Nothing. That's the results. Nothing. And this led me to something even more peculiar. The Black Tom explosion. I don't know about you, but I was never taught anything about the Black Tom explosion in school. So early on in the war, the US decided not to take part, but still proceeded to provide the British and France with munitions. Well, this pissed Germany off, so they sent agents over to the US, and they caused the largest non-nuclear explosion in history. They blew up a train with a bunch of munitions on Black Tom Island next to Liberty. She would sustain a lot of damage. This is when they banned going into the pedestal. Alright y'all, we gotta talk about this new Mandela Effect. For those of you that don't know, the Mandela Effect is when the masses believe something to be a certain way, when in fact, it is not. Basically, it's an instance of a false memory. One of the more popular examples of this is the Berenstein Bears. This is how it's spelt today, with the A-I-N at the end. But this is how people have always thought it was spelt, including myself. It's not Berenstain, it's Berenstein. But that's not why I made this video. I made this video today for a Mandela Effect that I know is not the way it used to be. It's a beverage that's been around since the late 1800s and that we all grew up drinking. Yup, you guessed it, Coca-Cola. And now the hyphen is at the top instead of the middle between the words Coca and Cola. This was my dad's favorite thing to drink, and I know that it used to be in the middle, not at the top. The crazy thing is, I'm even finding vintage photographs with the hyphen at the top. Man, blowing my mind. I even went in an old stash of Coca-Cola cans from a year or so ago, and still, the hyphen is at the top. I don't get it. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Was the hyphen in the middle or at the top of the Coca-Cola sign? Another recent one they're claiming that has me baffled is the Monopoly guy. They're claiming today that he never had a monocle on his right eye. Those of you that grew up playing Monopoly, you gotta know, he always had a monocle. And when reading about this, I couldn't help but remember an old movie that referenced this. Check it out.
Who is this ghastly man? Ace Ventura, pet detective. And you must be the Monopoly guy. Hey, thanks for the free parking.
Let me know what y'all think in the comments. The Coca-Cola hyphen in the middle or at the top? Or did the Monopoly guy have a monocle? Because these have me absolutely dumbfounded. Is it possible we're in a different reality? The newest Mandela Effect being talked about online? Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. For those of you that don't know it yet, the Mandela Effect is a phenomenon where the masses remember an image or an event one way, and it's actually portrayed today as another. It's said we're overlapping dimensions. More popular ones are Pikachu never had a black tipped tail, and this one blew my mind. Looney Tunes is actually Looney Tunes. The latest Mandela Effect buzz is surrounding Rudolph and his encounter with Bumble, the abominable snowman. I don't know about y'all, but he scared me as a kid. He notices them coming across the icy waters and eventually gets into conversation with Rudolph and his girlfriend in the cave. That's when Hermie and Cornelius help. Hermie pushes the snow off the top of the cave, knocks him out. And this is where the Mandela Effect happens. Many remember Cornelius only pulling one tooth because he had a toothache. That's why he was mad. The newest version, he pulls them all so he can't eat. He still becomes their friends and helps them with their tree. The majority says they do not remember him pulling all teeth. Neither do I. What do you think? Have we overlapped dimensions? So if you're curious as to why they call this effect the Mandela Effect, it has to do with Nelson Mandela, former South African president. The reason being because when he died in December of 2013, a lot of people didn't even know he was alive. Early on in Mandela's life, he was an activist against the racial inequality in South Africa. Normally a non-violent figure, after his unsuccessful protest of the relocation of black people in Sophia's town in Johannesburg in 1955, Mandela concluded that violent action would prove necessary to end the apartheid and the white minority rule in South Africa. This would end up being an ill-advised choice because he was imprisoned in 1962 for plotting sabotage against the government at the time. They would sentence him to life in prison, and up until his death in 2013, A lot of people believed he died in prison, when in fact, he didn't. He would end up serving 27 years in prison and be released in February of 1990. This was shortly after the previous president who imprisoned him had a stroke, and new President F.W. de Klerk took over office. After his release, he became an important political figure, eventually becoming the first black president of South Africa in 1994 and serving until 1999. But in spite of all that, when he passed away in 2013, people around the world had thought he died in prison. So that is why the recent phenomena of the masses remembering things differently than they are today is called the Mandela Effect. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow, and check out some more of my content if you get a chance. Thank you. Stay in the light.